Hey guys, Dan with AutoMotivationZ here. I get a lot of requests for what I think of this car. I have a 2019 Audi RS3. I like the car in general, I'm not gonna lie. So this will be a video about my 6-month experience with the car, what I like, what I dislike. I've done some videos on each already. Those will be linked in the description below. But this is basically what my impressions of the car are. And you'll have to forgive me because I'm driving right now. So what do I think of the car? In general, I love the car. It's something that this car has everything that I want. It ticks off every box. It's fast. It has great gas mileage. It has everything. I mean, it has a cool steering wheel. It has digital dash. It has pretty much every option that you can get on this car except for the carbon ceramic brakes, which, let's be honest, unless you're tracking the car, you really don't need. It has a good sounding radio, good speakers. It's easy to drive. It's comfortable. It really ticks off everything. The one thing I wish I had more space. This is a relatively small car. There's not a lot of storage space, but there's a decent amount. I mean, if you're not, bringing a TV every day, you should be fine. I mean, I just went and got groceries. It was fine. Didn't have any problems. Very easy to get to everything. The radio controls are easy to do. They're very intuitive. They're very easy to learn. And, I mean, it's just all around, it's an awesome car. Before this, I had a 2018 STI Type RA, number 391 of 500. It was a cool car. It was cool because it was extremely limited. Not everyone had one. You rarely see those. I think I've seen 2 maybe since getting rid of mine. What made me get rid of it is I ultimately ended up changing jobs. I was working 1.5 miles from home. It was easy. It didn't really matter. I didn't need specialty features like adaptive cruise, which this car has, which is, you guys, amazing. If you guys ever have a chance to drive a car that has it, try and use it. The one on the Audi works really well. I've heard some of the other ones don't work very well. Man, I mean, this works pretty damn well. So going through a lot of the options that this car has that my STI didn't. The STI had a very firm ride. It was something where you couldn't change the firmness of the ride. This car, you have dynamic, you have auto, you have comfort, you have individual. You can change basically whatever you want in the settings in the car. Another thing is how loud it is. So stock, this car is decently loud. I mean, I love loud exhaust, as you can hear my AWE track exhaust, I'm sure, in this video. The one thing I really dislike about the stock exhaust is that literally every time you put it in neutral, in park, or I mean just in general when the car starts, it's always closing the valves. It is so incredibly frustrating. It's the one reason, and the only reason really, that I got track exhaust, is because there's no valve. Well, there is valves and you can still hear them, but you don't have to do anything to get loud exhaust. It's loud all the time, which is what I wanted. Another thing is, I mean, the ride quality. The ride quality of my STI, it was awesome. I mean, when you can carve corners, it's great. And it's something that, it's fun for a while, but once you get to a certain point, you want to ride in comfort. You don't want to ride in a harsh environment. The STI was very harsh. It's something that, I mean, let's be honest, it's meant for one thing, and that's rally racing. If you're not rally racing, well, it makes it harsh. Another thing about the STI, coming from that to this, is the radio quality was terrible. And I'm not bashing Subaru because I've had 4 Subarus, but they use the mid-grade radio out of, I think, an Outback, just a regular Outback, not even a premium or a limited. The speakers were terrible. It did have a touchscreen display, which was nice, but yeah, it wasn't adequate. Now, one thing I'm going to show you guys real quick is the adaptive cruise. And you'll see right here that my car is slowing down because of this car in front of me. It paces the car in front of you. It's awesome to watch. This guy moved out of the way. See, the car senses that. It picks up, starts going faster again. Very cool. Very cool feature to have, you guys. If you don't have it, definitely get it. I really like it. Another thing about the review of this car. So I've had this car just over 6 months. It's 6 months and change. I got a screaming deal on it. When I bought this car in Oklahoma City, Bob Moore, Porsche, Audi. I don't have enough great things to say about these guys. They were awesome. Daryl Jefflow hooked me up with this car. Very decent financing, very decent price. I got $13K off of a brand new car, basically. Other driving impressions. This car gets a lot of attention. You know, even though it looks relatively normal, it gets a lot of attention. I've had many people come up to me, comment me on the car, on how it looks. Now, granted, I've done some things to it. The exhaust being one. I have the Aerobond carbon wing, which is another thing. I have my winter wheels and tires on, and then the black Audi rings. So, I mean, that's really all I've done. It's mostly cosmetic, except for the exhaust. But, I mean, it looks nice. And it's something that I really like. I think it gives the look to the car, which is what it should look like. I'm used to big wings on the STIs, so the small, little, tiny chin-lid spoiler that this came with was just not okay for me. I had to do something else. More of the handling in this car versus my STI. Well, this car is not geared towards just rally racing. It's geared towards, I would say, spirited driving. And this car does a great job at spirited driving. It's very fast. It's very comfortable. I'm very surprised by that. And the gas mileage, and I'll get a shot of the gas mileage so you guys can see it, but like 24/7 all around, and that's over 10,000 miles. So that's not terrible. That's not great, but it's not terrible. My STI was in the 2019 range, so there's that. You know, the features just in general are they're nice. I mean, the radio, the wheels and tires, the ride quality, all of the things that you could do in this car are just great. I mean, I really do appreciate the finer things on this car. Coming from an STI where it was kind of stripped down, bare bones, even though I had the top model. Don't ask me why they did that, I don't know. As far as how fast they are, this car is much faster than my STI, and I will say that 100%, even though I never got to race both of them against each other. I know for a fact this car would hands down win in a race. This car very fast, very quick off the line, and handles great in the snow. Granted, you have to have winter tires for that. Right now, I have a dedicated set of winters, Motegi MR143s, and Nokia and Hakkapeliitta 8s for my snow tires. And yeah, man, if you're looking for snow tires, take a look at those. I mean, they're a pretty popular tire among the Audi community, but they handle really well in all different snow conditions: dry, wet, snowing, ice, slush. Whereas my Blizzaks, my WS80s that I had on my STI, they were pretty good in everything as well, but in the slush they just handled terribly. They weren't good at all. So if you're thinking about getting an Audi, definitely take a look at it. I mean, they're very nice cars. They're very well built. Relatively easy to maintain. I've only had one issue with this car so far, and it ended up not being an issue with the coolant pump and the amount of coolant that I had in it. So, I mean, you know, if you guys are looking at them, definitely look at an Audi. They're very nice. They're very comfortable. They're very easy to drive. They're very easy to own. They're very easy just in general to get along with. Now, I have had a used Audi in the past, and that wasn't that easy to get along with. A lot of issues with that one. But this car in general, this platform in general, handles very well, weathers the storm very well. I don't have anything bad to say about this car. And people ask me, well, why'd you get rid of your first one? That's true. I did get rid of it after 3 months. I was kind of still in the manual mode where I wanted to drive a manual. I mean, I still like driving manuals, don't get me wrong. But I was also only driving 3 minutes to work. And I wasn't in traffic, and I wasn't in, you know, all of that for basically 5.5 years. So for 5.5 years, it really didn't matter. But once I got to the point where I'm driving a little bit further, I drive 50 miles round trip to work now. So, I mean, I have a decent amount of windshield time. And it's something that, you know, it happens. I mean, there's people do things that, that affects that. And that usually affects what kind of car you're going to drive. So, that's that. Other than that, I mean, you know, guys, I mean, I really don't have much else to say. But if you're looking for an Audi and you're willing to drive a little bit, definitely go see the guys at Porsche, Bob Moore Porsche Audi. They are great. They're fantastic to deal with, and great all-around people to look at and to deal with. And just take a look. I just saw this STI here. That's exactly what my car used to look like, pretty much. So guys, with that being said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button, and if you could, get the word out about my channel. In no way, shape, or forms am I turning away feedback. It's something that I welcome the feedback to the channel. I want to grow my channel. I want to get it to the point where, you know, I can have a decent following. So that's what I'm trying to do. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, put them down in the description below in the comment section, and I actively check that all the time. And with that being said, have a good day.